16 News Now investigates the duo arrested in connection with a string of barn fires that have been plaguing the Michiana farming community. But for one of the suspects, this isn't the first arson accusation. Carly Luca explains what may have led to their destructive behavior.
2 people are pleading not guilty after being accused of setting 8 barns ablaze in Elkhart County. And as their criminal proceedings are just getting started, the community is still recovering and reacting with a lot to process since this all began in the spring. A mixture of shock.
He wanted to see it burn.
And relief.
I was tickled to death to get that call. I can't tell you how happy I was about it.
As 2 people are now charged in connection to barn burnings that date back as far as April. 41-year-old Joseph Hirschberger and his girlfriend, 32-year-old Sherry Thomas, were arrested on arson charges, bringing to end a nearly 8-month period of constant worry for the farming community. First responders whose communities were impacted by the arsons are happy, taking to social media to express their gratitude for the arrests. But amid the jubilation comes the aftermath, as those whose barns were burned down continue to pick up the pieces. For Debbie Schmidt, the cleanup means acknowledging the loss of not just material things, but cherished family memories.
They pulled my dad's tractor out. He had this little Oliver, and all I can do is see my dad on that. And they pulled it out and with their crane, and they set it over to the side till I can say, I'm ready to let go.
The damages from the fire that burned down Gary Eby's barn are estimated at over $150,000. But he's grateful to still have his home after the flames came dangerously close.
The roof of the house was all covered with embers, and if we wouldn't have a brick house with a metal roof, we probably wouldn't have a house.
Like Debbie, he lost things that just can't be replaced.
There was a pony wagon that my dad had when he was a kid, and they took a buggy and cut it down and made a pony wagon. It's gone. You know, there's no amount of money can replace it because that was my dad's.
Gary Waybright lost a barn and 2 silos, along with hundreds of items that were inside when the arsonist struck his farm on October 1st.
We lost, a lot of material things, but probably the thing that hurts the worst is the memories of father and grandfather, and all the people, all the hired hands, all the relatives that have come in over the years to take care of the farm.
And as these families continue to process everything that's happened, everyone keeps coming back to the same question: why?
I'd like to have him tell me why he burned it. Period.
While we don't fully know what the motive was, we do know that Hirschberger's history with fires dates back decades. He served as a volunteer trainee for the Syracuse Fire Department in 2001. He resigned a year later, but the current fire chief did not say why. Then in 2006, Hirschberger was accused of setting fire to a brand new manufactured home while it was sitting on a sales lot in Goshen. He was initially charged with arson, but ended up pleading guilty to felony criminal mischief, sentenced to 3 years of probation, which he would go on to violate several times before completing the sentence in 2011. Now described on his charging documents as a danger to the community, Hirschberger has involved his partner in his alleged criminal activity. Sherry Thomas told police she was there when Hirschberger set fire to barns on April 13th, July 28th, and October 1st, but he says they took turns pouring the gas on and watching them burn. But they weren't the only ones at the final fires on October 1st. Thomas tells police that her 11-year-old son was there and that Hirschberger tried to convince him to take part in the arson.
There's so many lives ruined over this. I don't even know what would make you think this was something to do. There's a price to pay. When you commit a crime like that, there's a price to pay. So, they have to figure out where their lives are going to go from here.
Both Joseph Hirschberger and Sherry Thomas face a maximum sentence of 112 years if found guilty on all charges. Thomas is currently on probation with a bond hearing planned for next month. Hirschberger is being held without bond because of restitution and court fees he still owes on 2 previous felony charges. For 16 News Now Investigates, I'm Carly Luca.